Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American from my birth to the grave. 47's the dog, took a bullet for all. Didn't flinch, didn't run, still the answer the call. And we say, be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum Show. Be tight, be tight, be tight. Officer Tatum Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Officer Tatum show. Scott Jennings, let me say this real quick. Shout out to Scott Jennings. I heard him on Mike Gallagher's show the other day. He did an incredible job. First of all, why are people still talking about Daniel Penny at this point? I do not understand why people still in their feelings and their butt hurt. Stevie Wonder can see that Daniel Penny should not be in court. He shouldn't have been prosecuted. None of those things should have happened. Daniel Penny did not do anything that he shouldn't have done and that I wouldn't encourage other men to do when it comes to defending the lives of other people when somebody's deranged and crazy. Very easy, very simple. I don't know why no one's talking about Jordan Neely's criminal history. And I will say Jordan Neely is a sad situation. It's unfortunate. Many of you guys probably don't know his mom was murdered by her boyfriend who was abusing her and chopped up and put in a suitcase. I don't know if he chopped her up, but she was found in a suitcase on the side of the highway when he was a young kid. And where was his daddy at? The same man that's out right now trying to grift and sue and make money. Where was he at when his son was living with his mom who got killed? And then he was in foster care and he was homeless for the last I don't know how many years. Where was daddy at? Jordan Neely got arrested 41 times. He assaulted 2 women on the subway system, broke the woman's eye orbital, at least one woman. Where was daddy at? Where were the activists at? Where were y'all at when Jordan Neely needed you the most, suffering from schizophrenia, and then also using synthetic marijuana? That's how he ended up losing his life. The stress of resisting from Daniel Penny and then using synthetic marijuana and being schizophrenic is how the man lost his life. Why are we still talking about this? But Scott Jennings got you covered. My brother from another mother. We'll pull that clip up, and I want you guys to listen to Scott Jennings put the smack down on these people on CNN. I don't think he know how to do anything else but win. All he do is win, 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 no matter what. Scott Jennings, roll.
And Bernardo, you've actually said you weren't shocked by this, that after like a decade of looking at New York juries, you weren't surprised. How come?
No, I wasn't surprised at the verdict. Was it the right verdict? Absolutely not. I think he should have been found guilty of criminally negligent homicide. But I wasn't surprised given where it was tried, New York County, and the jury pool that you have in New York County, and the amount of media coverage that this case has gotten ever since the very beginning from when he was arrested. And let's not forget that law enforcement originally let him loose. However, I will say I think the biggest mistake that was made was when the prosecutor dismissed the manslaughter in the second-degree charge on Friday. I think that left a negative taint on the case for those jurors. So whoever was standing
and for context for people, the jury said it was essentially kind of deadlocked. They were struggling, and they ended up dropping one of the charges, I assume, in the hopes that they might find for the lesser charge.
Yeah, so what I think is the prosecutor hedged all her bets that the issue was with the elements of the crime, and that's why she was fine and comfortable with saying, well, I'll dismiss the manslaughter in the second degree, and I'll just let you decide as to the criminally negligent homicide. But for those jurors that were probably steadfast on that this man is guilty on manslaughter in the second degree, now they're left with egg on their face when they're looking at the other jurors and be like,
why couldn't they have just said he's guilty of that? Okay, you're saying he's not guilty of man two. Well, then I feel if I felt he was guilty of manslaughter in the second degree, then I definitely feel he's guilty of the lesser included charge of criminally negligent homicide. But in fact, that's not what happened. They got rid of the top count. The jury focused on justification, self-defense. The last question they asked substantively on Friday was, we need the definition of what is a reasonable person, because that's what you need to use for self-defense.
Well, if they were
they came back not guilty.
If they were focused on justification, why were they deadlocked on Friday then? Because if it's justification is not an issue, then it's not guilty across the board. So there's no deadlock. So it
Bernardo,
wasn't a
before we move on, I
issue.
want to mention something that you mentioned from the closing arguments. One of the questions that the attorney raised, which is, I think it was, would you rather ride the subway
Which was completely
with
improper.
Daniel Penny
it was
or
improper.
Jordan
Not,
Neal?
It was
not
improper.
for a defense attorney, it's not improper. For a prosecutor,
Of
it's
course.
Hold on. I just want to let me bring it back. Let me bring it back like a Cadillac with two flats, with cat in the hat, smoking crack in the back. All right. So the premise here is that clearly the prosecutors were playing games with Daniel Penny's case. They're playing games, right? It is improper for them to arbitrarily just make the decision to say we're going to drop this charge because they were deadlocked. So we're gonna just dismiss this charge. Oh, go to the next charge. We can get him on that. Let's just dismiss this charge. You guys should have dismissed it at the very beginning. You should have never charged them with it if you didn't think they could do it. What they did is they threw the book at Daniel Penny hoping something stick. Clearly it didn't stick, and clearly the people woke up to the reality of the fact that the guy's not guilty, period. All right, then you go to, now they're having this argument about whether or not the defense brought up the fact that would you rather ride on the transit system with Jordan Neely or Daniel Penny. Then I think it's very clear. This woman don't like that, but that was a good tactic from the defense to say, put this in perspective. Is the guy dangerous or not? Was Daniel Penny justified or not? Roll the clip.
Proper, not for a defense attorney. But you're
let
allowed
me-
to get away with a lot of stuff as a defense attorney because you're up against it. The prosecutor can't say that. A defense
But
attorney
the-
can
Arthur,
definitely
the
say
reason-
I don't believe that I'm sitting between two lawyers and neither of you have defined criminal negligence.
Carelessness.
Criminal
It's
negligence
carelessness. It's
is
carelessness.
carelessness is
Right.
going beyond what a reasonable person would do.
And the jury
is it
found
reasonable?
it was
Is
reasonable.
No, excuse me, I didn't ride all 2 hours up here for you to yell over me. It's not reasonable to kill somebody for yelling.
But the jury
He was
did.
yelling on the subway.
The jury
There's
disagreed.
no way that they could know his criminal record.
Hold on. This is why y'all ain't never gonna be nothing if you don't change the way you act. Why come the black man that gets on here is silly? You can't kill a man because he's yelling. Well, first of all, the intent wasn't to kill him. That's why Daniel Penny is free. It wasn't his intent. His intent was to restrain the man until the police arrived. That was his intent and his motive. The guy wasn't just yelling. If he was just yelling, Daniel Penny would be in jail right now. And I would be making a video saying it was unjustified. He wasn't just yelling. Everybody yells on the train. But when you throw your jacket off and you say, I'm going to start taking the lives of people on this train, I don't care about going to jail. If y'all don't give me some water, some food, I'm going to start, you know what I'm saying, taking people's lives. I'm trying not to use the K word. Then you got to take action. And Daniel Penny had to approach him from behind. He wasn't face to face with the guy. He was such a threat. He had to sneak up on him and get him because he was so insane, in my personal opinion. And they know he was on drugs and they know he was schizophrenic. But to the man of the melanin, he's just yelling on the train and he get killed. This is one thing that bothers me, and we'll get to Scott Jennings here in a second. This is one thing that bothers me. They always jump to, does he deserve to die? Well, the attempt wasn't to take his life. The attempt was to apprehend him until law enforcement came. Subsequently, unfortunately, the guy didn't survive it. It's the same thing with police shootings. If the guy run up on you and you're using deadly force justifiably and you shoot him one time, the intent is to eliminate him as a threat. It's not to take his life. In some cases, people live through that. Some cases, people don't live. The death part is not evaluated when it comes to whether or not the use of force was justified and reasonable. Roll the clip.
They couldn't know if he was mentally ill. They couldn't
They
know
knew it.
any
They
of
knew
that.
he was mentally
All
ill.
they knew is that he was yelling on the subway.
No,
he was 140
acting
pounds
mental.
soaking
They were
wet.
witnesses.
Who was
Solomon,
he
they
going to
were-
kill? He was unarmed. There was no way he was going to kill anybody.
Who said he clearly appeared to be mentally ill. That's what the jurors heard. They heard the witnesses on the subway
But it doesn't
car.
give you a free pass to kill because you see someone that's
Okay,
mentally
hold on. This
ill.
side of the
That's right.
table, I want to bring in the politics of this because when I hear lawmakers hailing Penny as a hero, as a good Samaritan,
Hero.
really being promoted voted. Can you help me understand the thinking? We started at the top of the show talking about the killer of the United Healthcare CEO being hailed in similar terms.
Yeah, let me just help you understand. If you're on the American left tonight, here's my chart. The good guys today, Daniel Penny. The bad guys, Luigi Mangione. It seems to me.
How do you?
Everybody
what's
on the
the
left,
chart for victims?
I'm just telling you what I see out in the world.
I know. I
What
just want
see
you to
out in
finish
the world
the
today.
chart. Which victim
chart.
is good
You
and
can make
which
your own
victim
chart.
is bad?
What I'm telling you is
That's not on the second page?
People on the left. People on the left
Scott,
can't seem to tell the
I'm
difference
not
between the good
asking
guys
you
and the
about
bad guys.
people on the left. I'm asking you whether you consider this person.
We had people praising
I want
Luigi
to know
and
whether
attacking
you
Penny.
think
One
that,
is good,
as
one is not.
Congressman Crane does, that Daniel Penny should get the Congressional Gold Medal to recognize his heroism. I'm not asking you about anyone else.
I think he ought to get medal. I think they ought to build a statue to this guy in New York City.
I think that race,
Scott, you
I think
lost
that,
my mind.
and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the dreaded R word. Race plays a role in this, right? And so we see
Does
it.
it?
Yes, absolutely, because statistics
Wasn't there a similar case in New York City at the same
statistics
time this
say
one was going on?
that when people kill people who are white, they tend to get harsher sentences, especially if they're people of color.
What about the Jordan Williams case?
That is
What
what
about the Jordan
happens in
Williams
our
case?
criminal justice system.
First of all,
No, I'm
like,
not going to stop because race
I
absolutely
didn't ask you to
plays a
stop.
role in this.
I said,
Some
what
of the
about the
witness-
Jordan Williams case here in New York? Same situation. African American gets on a subway, ends up killing a guy. Grand jury tosses it out at the exact same time as the Penny case.
What about
But
Bernard
that's
Getz?
different.
Right.
That's different. That's different because
What's
he
different?
used the same weapon that the alleged victim had. So he was using his own weapon. He was met with deadly physical force. Jordan Neely, all he had in his pocket was a muffin.
All right, listen,
Yeah,
guys.
well, he
First
was
of all,
threatening.
this is not a left-right issue. I'm on the left, and I actually think this was the right decision. Because the reason I think this is the right decision is because that's what the jury decided. And juries tend to get this stuff right. And that's what we have to believe in. There were multiple witnesses that were people of color. There were multiple people on the jury that were people of color.
Thank you.
I think it's
There was
not
one black
really
person on
okay
the
to
jury.
call this a race issue. One of the guys who helped hold him down was a black man. He, testified too on his behalf. Like, this is not a race issue.
So
The jury who spent days and days and days and days listening to detailed facts came to this conclusion.
What?
Do I think he's a hero? No. Do I think he was
Why
a good
not?
Samaritan trying to protect people? Yeah. But there's a difference.
Well,
because somebody
here's a
died,
fact,
and that
though.
really is awful. And
Here's
I'm
a
not
fact.
saying that it's okay that somebody
Daniel
died.
Penny agrees with
I'm
you.
just
All right, stop.
saying
But Daniel
that
Penny
I don't
agrees.
think
Stop right there. You stop it right now. Listen, Scott Jennings made sense. He had a good argument. A little bit further to the right, he had a good argument. The lady next to Scott Jennings was a little more balanced, nuanced, but she had a great argument. It made perfect sense. It's not a race issue. The jurors are the ones that deliberate on evidence that they either watch at the trial or that's presented to them that they deliberate on in closed quarters. This is what they do. 99% of people that hear about this case, talk about this case, did not watch every hour of what the jurors heard from the prosecutor and the defense. You didn't hear it. You weren't privy to the evidence. You didn't get to watch more evidence. You didn't get jury instructions. You didn't get none of that. So the jurors have a better perspective than the layman just watching television. Why? Jesus, help me understand. Why does Scott Jennings make sense? The lady next to Scott Jennings, this guy makes sense. Why is it that the melanated is something in the water? This lady is not making any sense. This guy is deranged, and she's making every excuse she can for a criminal. Why? Somebody help me. And you know what it also correlates with, and I hate to say it because I wish it wasn't true. I wish I was lying right now and I was deceived. What it correlates with is voting, right? Black women voted 80-some% for Democrats. Black men voted overwhelmingly for Democrats. Hispanic men were balanced, and white people were balanced. It's something in the water with the melanated people that they cannot be genuine for 30 seconds and just say you're not on the side of the black man this time. Why can't you just not be on the side of the black man this time? Because he's wrong. They refuse to acknowledge that he threatened people. And the lady said it. There was black people, white people that all testified as witnesses saying they felt threatened. Some of them said it was the scariest day of their lives. How is that a thing? And you guys disregard all the colored people and all of the Mexicans and diverse people that had a problem with Jordan Neely in order to defend a criminal. You won't defend the mothers and the women who were afraid of him on the train. They don't count. Their voices don't count. You couldn't care less. But the thug that ended up losing his life at the hands of a good Samaritan, y'all somehow find every justification to defend that. Why is it just the black folks? CNN, get some more contributors on the conservative side that are black so we don't look completely stupid every day. Roll the clip.
He's with
Daniel
you
Penny
that somebody dies. It's
First of all,
awful.
he was still alive when the paramedics got
So-
there.
so there were
And they
two
ended up
voices- there were two
delaying
voices on
their
the video.
attention to him because they were afraid he might be dangerous to them or have disease.
I wanna
All right,
show
this is
you
important. There were
one-
two
hold on
voices.
one
One of them
second.
says you
I
don't
wanna-
have to catch a murder charge, though, man. Right? He didn't stop choking him at this point. So, I mean, he knew that there was a risk that this man was going to die, and it's a shame that a bystander had to tell him that, and he did not stop at that point.
Because nobody came to help him. They were just talking at him. No
then-
one was
As soon as the
helping.
police came, he let go. As soon as he
As soon
saw
as
law
somebody came.
enforcement, he let go.
He's already about to die.
He was about to. He was still kicking.
He had him
still
The
alive.
evidence was he was still
A 140-pound man
The
on the
jury
ground.
decided
Who was
he
gonna
was
kill?
still alive.
Well, the jury
Do you
also
believe in
decided
juries?
that Donald Trump was guilty of 34 felonies. He's about to be president.
Okay,
Wait.
before we veer
Do you
off,
disagree
It's a
with
different
that?
jury.
Do you
No,
disagree with
before
that?
we
Look
go there, I
at-
want to show
I
you
don't agree
guys
that
where.
juries
John
are
Brand
always
brought
right.
both cases.
Juries
Do
aren't
you think
always
that the
right.
jury was wrong in the Donald
Juries
Trump
aren't
verdict?
always right.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
wanna
You
show-
agree,
Always right.
you agree with the jury in the Donald Trump verdict. That's Hillary's point. And you disagree with the jury here. So
Because
you gotta,
juries
you gotta
aren't
pick.
always right. They're not infallible. They're human, just
They
like
know
me
more
and you.
than you do.
No,
Yes.
I
Yeah,
know
heard all the
about
evidence.
this case,
No,
they
you
know
heard
more
all
than
the
you
evidence.
do.
All I know is it's all on video.
On this, about
It's
this
all on
case,
video.
they
We
studied
watched
more than
Daniel
you did.
Penny kill
And so,
this man.
we watched
We
it, but
watched him kill him.
the jurors heard the state of fear in the other subway riders,
I'm
and that's the
gonna-
defense of justification.
I'm going to.
What else needs to be said? Thank y'all. Y'all wrapped up the Daniel Penny scenario. I don't think we have to talk about it anymore. It's very clear who was right and who was wrong. My wife told me that I need to make a shirt that says Daniel Penny, there goes my hero, and make a shirt and all the proceeds go to Daniel Penny's family, because whether you guys know it or not, he's still getting sued by Jordan Neely's family, who wasn't there for Jordan Neely when he was alive. But now that he's dead, they want millions of dollars from Daniel Penny. So he's still getting sued civilly. And I hope that they lose that case civilly. But if somehow he gets sued for $100 million civilly, he's going to have to find some money to pay for it. It's unjustified what they would do to him in that case. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Also, let's go to our next subject. I want to talk about The View. They are going to embarrass themselves once again. The narrative is them arguing with each other over Donald Trump's retribution or potential retribution. Let's pull him up real quick. Let me just say this real quick. Donald Trump was in an interview on ABC or one of these fake channels, and he had made mention that he's not going to go after Joe Biden. That's not in his purview. That's not prioritized for him. He believes that he has better things to worry about, which is dealing with what the people want versus retribution. Now, I think he needs to go after everybody. He needs to go after Bragg. He needs to go after Letitia James or whatever these women names are. He needs to go after everybody. Joe Biden, Fannie nasty self. He needs to go after her. Who else, Nick? Nathan Wade. They can't keep their stuff in their pants long enough to investigate Donald Trump. He needs to go after them. He needs to go after everybody. Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, Hillary. Bring Hillary back up. They never charged her. Go back and charge her. Because let me tell you what they're going to do to Donald Trump when he get out of office. They're going to prosecute him. That's exactly what they're going to do. And if they could put his kids under the prison, they would do it. They can't. Roll the clip.
Yesterday, you know who was on Meet the Press, where he talked about the crimes surrounding the January 6th Capitol riots, and he's still claiming that he's the real victim here. Take a look.
I think those people committed a major crime.
Sir.
And Cheney was behind it.
Well-
and so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee.
We're going to.
For what they did,
Yeah.
honestly, they should go to jail.
You promised to pardon those who attacked the Capitol on January 6th. Are you still vowing to follow through with that promise?
We're looking at it right now, most likely, yeah. They've been in there for years, and they're in a filthy, disgusting place that shouldn't even be allowed to be open.
For the sake of unifying this country, will you concede the 2020 election and turn the page on that chapter?
No. No, why would I do that? But let me just tell you,
You
when
won't
you
ever
say the
concede.
country is deeply divided, I'm not the president. Joe Biden's the president. And he has been a divider. And you know where he divided it more than anything else, and it probably backfired on him, I think definitely, is weaponization. When he weaponized the Justice Department and he went after his political opponent, me.
All right, before she starts scratching them ticks out of her head, this is very clear to me. Donald Trump had an opportunity to investigate Hillary Clinton in 2016. I'm telling y'all, at my funeral, somebody better come up to the mic and say Hillary Clinton should be in prison, because that woman sent and received classified information on that private server in her house without the government knowing about it. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard. And we know they were doing pay to play on the computer and through those emails. That's why they deleted and bashed it with hammers and did all that crazy stuff. Donald Trump did not investigate her. While Donald Trump was in office, I'm sure he knew about Joe Biden and he knew about Hunter Biden's dealings. He knew about it. It had to be somewhere floating around. He did not pursue an investigation into Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. You got the FBI director, you got FBI workers, Carter Page, Lisa Page or Lisa Struck or whatever one of their name is. These little idiots that having an affair, cheating on their husbands and talking about they got a plan to get Donald Trump. They got a plan B or something they said they were going to do to him. He didn't go after them. Don't effing tell me about retribution from somebody when Donald Trump had the opportunity to put all y'all in prison and he didn't. And then when Joe Biden gets in office, he tried to put Trump in prison. They put the J6s in prison for unduly amounts of time. Don't give me that mess. We should be on y'all head by this point. Roll the clip.
So jailing the January 6th committee members doesn't count as weaponization of the Justice Department? Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious, what law did they break? I mean, what law did they break? They did their job.
Yeah.
They did the investigating. They talked to all the people they felt were involved. So where did they break the law?
They didn't break the law.
Okay, I just was checking because, you know, stuff changes so quickly
They didn't break the law, and that's, I think, what's scary. Former Representative Liz Cheney, who we know was a significant part of the committee, said this: there is no conceivably appropriate factual or constitutional basis for what Donald Trump is suggesting, a Justice Department investigation of the work of a congressional committee. And any lawyer who attempts to pursue that course would quickly find themselves engaged in sanctionable conduct. And those sanctions against an attorney can be as small as a fine, but can go as far as taking away your law license. And so I think that, you know, he's saying these things in practicality, that should not happen. But I think we do need to be very clear about what he is saying. He is going to look into pardoning people that participated in an insurrection and even those who admitted to assaulting police officers, okay? That's very important. And so we've been talking about this issue of pardoning people on the January 6th committee, even though they did not commit any crimes. I think that that's important. I think that they should have that in their safe deposit box just in case, because he's looking at Adam Schiff, who participated in impeachments. He's looking at Liz Cheney. He's looking at Adam Kinzinger. And I can't imagine that he won't try to weaponize the Justice Department. When this man tells you what he's thinking out loud, you should believe him.
A few
Hold
things.
on a second.
First
Hold
of
on,
all,
before
yes.
this nut job talk, the thing that I'm perplexed by, and I think most people agree with me on, and thank y'all for watching, and make sure you hit the like button. I appreciate y'all. Is that the man was in office already? He had every opportunity to weaponize the government against his opponents. He never did. Clearly, Joe Biden did it against him. Donald Trump, they are retroactively trying to pardon people because these people have done so much dirt that when we finally get into office and we have the power to uncover this stuff, to pull the veil down for the American people to see, they know people finna go to jail. They know people have done so many crimes. Hunter Biden, they gave him 11-year all-encompassing pardon. That means that everything he done for the last 11 years, he's pardoned. Whether they started investigating it or not, he has a sweeping pardon. They're going to do that for all kinds of other government officials that we are going to find out that did a crime. And I think that Donald Trump shouldn't stop and not investigate. He should do an investigation. He should let the American people know what they did and say, okay, but they pardoned him. But this is what he did. This is what they pardoned him from. These people that did the J6s, when they find out that Nancy Pelosi intentionally did not have security to protect the Capitol building, and the conversations and emails that they were sending back and forth, the FBI people that were involved, that's why she's afraid of Christopher Wray getting in trouble, because the amount of FBI agents that were implanted in the J6 riots, how many were there? What was the task? What were the correspondence? What were they doing? What information did they know? Now, you got to be out of your mind to think that they knew. Just say the FBI infiltrated and was able to get correspondence with certain J6ers, and they knew they were planning on doing something, but they didn't do anything to stop it. They let it happen. That, to me, if that is a law enforcement head that allowed people to do that when they had intelligence to intercept it and they didn't, they let it happen to damage the image of Donald Trump, they should go to prison. They should be up under the prison. Roll the clip.
First of all, thank God for Liz Cheney. Yes. Yesterday, she put out a very strong statement condemning what Donald Trump had said. And I kind of felt like, like that song. It's like our nation turns its lonely eyes to you, because she's not trekking to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring. She's not going into, deep hiding and in silence. She's not changing her tune all of a sudden. She's sticking by her guns. She is a principled person with a backbone and courage. And if he goes after her, she's going to fight back. And it is going to be our job to protect her, to support her, to donate to a legal fund, to make sure that there are lawyers ready to defend her, because it costs a lot of money, because it is very stressful and very drainful, even if there is no crime. Yeah. Being investigated by the federal government is a big deal. And Donald Trump said, I'm not going to tell them to do it. Yeah, but he's telling them to do it through Meet the Press. Yeah. If he hasn't done it, if he hasn't done it in private already, and he's appointing people who are 100% loyal to him and who know that if they want to keep their jobs, they have to do what he wants them to do. So when Donald Trump said,
I got a super chat right here that says assaulting police officers, now they care about that. The Portland Capitol building was under siege for 100 days straight. Who's in jail for that? 100%. Thank you so much for the super chat. Y'all forget, please don't be forgetful. In 2020, around the entire country, police officers were getting bludgeoned by activists and protesters all around the United States of America. Police officers have been murdered at a rate higher than any year in American history. The last several years has been astronomical for police officers getting assaulted and killed. Not one time have they come on any network and said, my condolences are for law enforcement officers that are dealing with the fallout of we've been saying. Defund the police. They say law enforcement is racist. They say law enforcement is systemically racist against black people. They're indicting every law enforcement officer there is. All of a sudden, because it meets the criteria of their theology against Trump, they care about police officers. And now they want to protect them. Now they want people to go to jail. They didn't care if people went to jail in the Chaz zone. They didn't care if people, when they seized the Capitol building in Portland and they threw fireballs and stuff all in there. It was on fire, and they trying to block the door so the cops couldn't get out so they can burn them alive. They burnt down entire police stations in BLM riots. They had a guy in Dallas, Texas that took up arms and decided to kill only white cops, and he killed 5 Dallas police officers. Point blank range, AK-47. They had to go and take him out in the parking garage. Where were y'all at? Where your T-shirt at? Where are you showing up to the funeral? I want to say something, but I'm not because I'm trying to be a good Christian. Screw you and your empty platitudes. You don't give a flying flip about law enforcement. You just want Trump to be in trouble. Roll the clip.
Something, believe him, people. Believe him. There's nothing to wait for.
I think this is interesting also because they've been talking about the loyalty oaths. And I thought, well, so does that mean we get rid of the Pledge of Allegiance? Because isn't that the loyalty oath we all take?
Well, when you serve in the government, your loyalty is to the Constitution of the United States.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Which also wasn't taken very seriously.
Yeah. You know, and the other thing is, listen, he makes lots and lots and lots of noise. He says he's going to do all these things, and he does this, and I say this, I try to say it at least once a week. He does this to keep you all in a panic. He does it to
not only you.
Make you all do this and talk about him, and it's so terrible. But we have to do from now until January 21st is be with our families, be with our kids, do our jobs, make sure our checks don't bounce, make sure that we are taking care of ourselves and our families. Whatever he's going to do, he's going to do. But do take our word for it. Things seem to move slowly because, yeah, they didn't come get Hillary. But he has other people who are ready to go. But I don't think that they can just go out and do what they want to do.
No, wait, I told you last week I disagree with you when you say that. Because,
I think that's it, right? That's it? They finna argue? Oh my God! Hold on, let me interject and then we're gonna play it for just 1 second. It's funny to me how they are claiming that Donald Trump let Hillary go, but they can't. Now they got other people, but they can't do what they want to do. That's why they haven't done it. Listen, y'all cried for months about presidential immunity. Technically, Donald Trump can do whatever he wants as the president. He can do, and because you guys are stupid and you don't know what immunity is. But then he can do whatever he wants. He can commit crimes and he just absolved from anything he do as a president. So why hasn't he done anything? As soon as he gets in office, he should be able to do all the criminal stuff he want to do, right? Yeah, you can't believe these cackling hens. Now, the good part starts. If you're watching right now, this is the good part. This is when the hens start eating each other. This is when the raging rabies-infested cats start mauling on each other. Roll the clip.
The luxury of saying that, because we're legal, we are successful, we are. But if you're an illegal immigrant in this country, you're not going to be not in a panic. If you are a woman working for the Department of Defense, you have a right to be in a panic.
You tell people to stay fraught and like this.
I'm telling people to prepare, Whoopi. I'm telling people to prepare.
They are prepared.
Well, right. So that means
I'm saying
that
to
means
people,
that they can't be relaxing and enjoying Christmas.
No, it doesn't mean that.
When winter is coming.
No, it does. You know what? I'm sorry.
I mean, I disagree.
Winter is here.
Right.
Winter's been with us, and my point is we can lay down and do nothing for the next 15 days and then be freaking out for the next 4 or 2 years.
To you is we are in a privileged position that a lot of people who are going to be under his attack
who is going through the same thing.
I want his enemies listening. I'm not panicking.
Yeah.
Like, we just have to
we
live.
We have to figure out what we're panicking for. We don't know what we're panicking for. They're throwing 50,000 things at you.
I'm tired of listening to them. I can't listen to them all. All I hear is, we just have to live. No, I'm having a good time. I'm having a blast. When Donald Trump got elected, the air seems more pure going through my nostrils. I haven't had a better time in my life. It just seemed like the world just became a better place when Donald Trump won the election. What are y'all talking about? I'm going to have an incredible Christmas. I already had an incredible Thanksgiving. I don't care what y'all going through. We won. We're free. It's almost like the Emancipation Proclamation. I'm free. We ain't bound by these idiots no more about to ruin the country. Everybody died in vain dealing with these Democrats. We free. We can go on and live the life that we want to live. We're going to be prosperous. The economy is going to recover. We're going to get all these people out of our country that shouldn't be here. We're going to put America first. We're going to have positive trade deals with Mexico and Canada and whoever else want to trade with America. We're going to flourish. We're going to live the American dream. I'm excited. I have nothing but excitement in me. I don't know what these fools talking about. Caitlin Clark. Okay, Nicholas, let's show him Caitlin Clark real quick. Nick said it's one day it's gonna be his girlfriend, and he said the same day that she become his girlfriend, hell froze over. But maybe one day. She is pretty good looking when she dress up and put a little stuff on. When she ain't dressed up, boy, she look like her brother. I don't even know if she got a brother. She look like her daddy now. But when she dress up, man, she kind of good looking, man. She kind of so basic, she kind of cute. Have you ever seen a girl like that? You like, she just so basic, she cute though. All right. But Nick told me before we came on the show that she went woke. I have not watched this clip, so you guys are gonna watch this clip with me. Should I pray before this? Because I really like Caitlin Clark. I thought she was a rock star. I love the fact that she's turned women basketball up a little notch. Now nobody watch it. But when she first came in there, everybody was trying to watch it and give them the benefit of the doubt, even though they can't dunk. They play with a smaller ball, and I think their three-point line ain't the same. So they ain't never going to be as good as the men. And quit lying to yourself if you think they are. Women can't do nothing without throwing men into the trash or being sexualized. I don't get it. Why can't you just be the WNBA and do well and work on your own merits? Instead, you got to bite the hand that feeds you. You think you could compare yourself to a league that subsidizes y'all every year to the tunes of millions of dollars. And then y'all can't dunk. Your game is trash. In comparison, you guys are like watching a JV team play in high school. To be quite honest, y'all just bigger and got booties and stuff. But other than that, you ain't that entertaining. But yet you can't just accept that. You have to drag me in through the mud who gave you an opportunity in the first place. I don't know why women do that. Roll the clip.
I feel like so much has happened over the course of last year from when I started my last college season.
Hold on.
And
go back, Nick. No, go back to that when she in that chair.
I feel like so much has happened over the course of last year.
Now, I got a wife and I'm happy. She fine in that one. That's what Nick told me. That wasn't my opinion. Nick told me she was fine in that chair right there. What she look like? 1 to 10, Nick. Nick said a 15. You going straight. Let me pray for him. Roll the clip.
Cheer from when I started my last college season and not knowing if that would actually be my last season, whether I was deciding to come back to college or turn pro. And now sitting here, like I'm done with my first professional season and so much has happened. And whether it was, making the national championship game or getting the Fever back to the playoffs since 2016, there's just a lot to be proud of. And it all happened so fast, like it's hard to appreciate in the moment and kind of understand in the moment, but it's been fun to reflect on.
Good so far, right?
I'm definitely more aware of signs than people think I am, and I think it's something really cool to look around before the game and see, young girls, young boys, and the signs that they're holding. So I think for me, the coolest ones are the signs that are, I traveled this far, I got this as my birthday present, or whatever it is. Like the young girls, it's like families or parents or friends or whoever it is are spending a lot of time and money to travel all this way just to have an opportunity to spend 2 hours watching me play basketball. It kind of puts everything into perspective. So I would say I really love those.
Good.
Best concert, I would say Taylor Swift. And I wasn't even a Swiftie before going, but I think after seeing like the way she performs for 3 hours straight and the whole production, the outfits she wears, the way she doesn't stop singing, dancing, like it's just incredible. Like you're kind of just in awe after you leave. So maybe I am a full Swiftie now, I guess.
Not bad.
If I had to pick any outfit that I've worn over the last year, I'd probably pick my draft outfit. That was one we found a day before the draft, and it was like, ugh. They actually didn't, I'm pretty sure they didn't have that set, the jacket and the skirt in the United States anywhere else. So we're like, obviously we have to wear this. And then Prada hadn't dressed anybody, men or women, for the WNBA or NBA. So it was like pretty exciting.
See, Nick was hating on her. I thought she sounded good. Nick, you got another clip?
Just read what I sent you, because that's what she got quoted by that.
Let me see what you sent me, Nick, because he didn't. That clip looked good. She was sounding good. I still like her. She's still good. She sound cool. What you sent me, Nick, in the Slack?
Yeah, DMs.
Says, I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. She said in a timepiece. a lot of these players in the league have been really good and have been black players. The league has kind of been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made the league incredible, I think it is very important. I have to continue to try to change that. The more that we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Now, Nick made it seem like she went super woke. I think that what she said has a little bit of influence because she's young and she don't really know what's going on. You know what I mean? She's young. Her exposure and experience is going to Iowa, and then she went to a team full of lesbians. So I think that she's getting encouraged or seeing it from a perspective from black people and not really black people who are willing to tell her the truth. Let me just give y'all some info real quick. This is what happens to white people that don't know black conservative people, is that white people that never lived around black people don't understand what black people actually go through. So when they have their first exposure to black people who are saying, we're discriminated against, they hate us, they shoot us for no reason, I don't have no real opportunities in America. See? And then the white people who never experienced or being around black people, they don't have anything else to go off of. So they believe them. But I'm here to tell you, as the Negro whisperer, that these people are lying. I've been black my whole life. I've had multiple different experiences. I grew up in the inner city. I grew up in the middle class America. And then as an adult, obviously, I've been lived in all spectrums of America. Man, black people ain't got it bad in America like that. Hey, man, we ain't being discriminated against. The WNBA been paying these black women well, and they trash. They getting subsidized by the NBA, and they paying them well. Well, you think the NBA is racist? Who the top paid players in the NBA? Black people. Who the top paid players in the United States track team? Black people. NBA, MLB. Well, MLB got the Dominicans and stuff. They look black, but they actually Mexicans. So they speak Spanish. I saw some dudes on the MLB team. I'm like, oh man, brothers on the team. Man, that dude said something like, "Como te amo" or something. I said, God dang, I thought you was black. Homeboy had dreads and everything. I thought he was a black man. He's Mexican. Wearing blackface. No, I'm just playing. I'm kidding. Okay, somebody getting offended right now as I'm speaking. But that's pretty much what happens. The black people that white people who never been around black people get exposed to is the liars, the deceivers, the one who play the victim every day. Man, ain't nobody discriminate against y'all. Y'all really shouldn't even have a league. But y'all have a league because the black men are making the money to subsidize a female black league full of ugly lesbians. Most of them are ugly. I ain't gonna even lie. But hey, you ain't got to be cute to play basketball. Just admit it. Y'all ain't easy. Y'all hard on the eyes. It ain't easy on the eyes. Caitlin Clark is easy on the eyes. Angel Reese easy on the eyes. There's a couple other easy on the eyes. That's why y'all getting attention. And I'll say this, and I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but if they ran around with thongs on, they ratings would be just as good as the NBA players. Some people think I'm crazy. They made a video about me saying I was crazy by saying this. Every female sport that's incredibly popular is sexualized. Every female sport is sexualized to a certain degree. Only reason basketball is not sexualized is because it's a bunch of lesbian women. If it was a bunch of straight women, it'd be sexualized. I can almost guarantee you that more people will watch women lingerie football than watch women actually play football. I put my life on it. Nobody's gonna watch women play football, but they'll watch women's lingerie football. I remember somebody told me there was a thing. I said, ain't a thing. I saw women playing lingerie football and it blew my socks off. First of all, they were good looking and they were hitting. I was like, how y'all hitting like that? Y'all ain't got real pads on. That was entertaining. Look at tennis. Women have skirts on. Look at volleyball. They got beach volleyball. They literally wear a thong playing beach volleyball. But the guys don't dress like that. Look at tennis. The guys don't dress provocatively. Go to the gym anywhere in America. They sexualize women. Look at any of the commercials. Look at the cheerleaders. It's all sexualized. Women's sports wouldn't be anything if they didn't sexualize it to a certain degree. I'm telling you, because who's watching it? Men. And men are dirty, nasty little dogs with the, you ain't gonna say that. Y'all know the dog when they get excited. And that's what men are. Men are the little dogs that can't help themselves. They'll buy a beer if a girl got her breasts out in a beer commercial. I'll buy the beer because you look at her. That's how silly Nick said he did that before. Don't tell nobody else though, Nick. But that's how men operate, man. I'm just keeping it 100. That's why they use women in commercials. That's why they use women to sell beer and to sell anything. Golf is another thing. I'm flipping through. I ended up getting on a channel where a guy was doing golf because I need to learn how to play golf. And I'm like, let me just watch kind of what golf look like. And, you know, you scroll through because it feeds you other golf players. Why when I get to the woman, she got a pantyhose on. Or not, she got underwear on. And she swing the thing and her booty cheeks do like this after she swing it. Like, what does that got to do with golf? Why can't you wear spandex under that? You really got your booty cheeks popping on a golf stroke? Why you got to be sexualized? I was showing my wife this yesterday, and I'm going to get to the news again. I was showing my wife this yesterday. I said, baby, look at my feed. Because when I see nasty women on there, or women that dress provocatively, I click it and I put not interested. Therefore, it's not supposed to feed you that stuff anymore. I put not interested, not interested. I was showing my wife. I said, baby, look at my feed. I'm looking at chicken. I'm looking at that dude deep frying that. He baptizing that chicken. And I'm looking at them doing ribeyes on the barbecue grill. And I'm scrolling, and it's a woman with a thing like this. I say, how do y'all sending that to me? In front of my wife, I said, not interested, not interested, not interested. Still sending it to you. They feed men the sexualized propaganda, and women are going all in. And I'll say this, and I'm gonna get to the next story. That's why a woman made $40 million on OnlyFans. I'm jealous a little bit. I ain't gonna even lie, but I'd rather go to heaven than get a lot of money. But I'm kind of jealous. She just pulled what her mama gave her out there on the internet and made $43 million. And then she says she a Christian and a virgin. That's like believing in Bigfoot. All right, let me go on. I got another one I want to talk about. The leftists. It's a very quick segment here. The United Healthcare CEO. This has been an incredible controversy. Like, I got people that are close to me that literally disagree with me on this. And I don't understand why. Healthcare in America could be improperly functioning. There could be grifting going on. There could be improper denial of claims in the healthcare system. That does not mean that you should kill the CEO of the company. That's just my take on it. I don't know what role he played in the system of United Healthcare that got people so frustrated with healthcare that somebody thought they wanted to kill the man. I'm a business owner. I'm the CEO of all these companies I own. If somebody do something wrong or there's a policy that offends people, I don't always have direct knowledge of that effect to some degree. It has to be brought to my attention first, and then I have to go through the process of rectifying the problem. And that's me in a company that has 20 employees. Imagine a company that has 20,000 employees and it's $1 billion Fortune 500 company. I mean, when the CEO finds out that there's policies in place that could be detrimental to people, it may not always be simple and easy for that person to just change everything at the drop of a dime. You have shareholders, you have employees, you have policies, you have liability. I mean, you got all this other stuff. I'm not really trying to take up for the man. But what I'm saying is that before you think the man deserved to die, can we at least do an investigation into his dealings at the United Healthcare? Was the man a fraudulent person? Legitimately, not the perception of fraudulent behavior, but actually legitimately a fraudulent person, and he had everything to do with the downfall of United Healthcare. If he does, then he should be prosecuted, not some fool on the street going and shooting him in the back. That's just a coward move. If we tried to do vigilante justice for everything we had a problem with, I mean, it will only be conservatives alive in America. There would only be us, because, these weenies wouldn't stand a chance. So anyway, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that. You got people right now that are saying they want the killer of the CEO of United Healthcare to be free, and he's a hero, he's a martyr. I mean, the guy's going to spend the rest of his life in prison for nothing. They just going to put another CEO in there and keep doing business as usual. The only thing that's going to change is if there's policy changes. And you can inflict policy changes, by helping people get elected, by running for office yourself quicker than you can do by killing somebody. And when they fix health care, you in prison. And Big Tony's on the back of you. All right. Let's go to some more stuff because there's a few things I want to talk about. Is it the Shank? Is that the next one? Yeah. Anna Kasparian? Yeah. So Anna Kasparian, put her on the screen so people can see. She was obviously a raging leftist that I literally could not stand to even hear her voice. It was like somebody scratching a chalkboard with dry fingers. I mean, it was, she's annoying to me. But over the years, she's kind of gained a little bit of common sense and have come over to the light just a little bit. Now, her partner in crime, Shank, or whatever his name is the dumbest man on the internet. The dude is just literally a beta. He got so much soy going through his system that he can't even see the light. Even if he saw the light, he couldn't express the light because it'll make his little soy heart hurt. But she's coming over a little bit and acknowledging things that we have all been telling her for I don't know how long. And it's good to see her and others wake up. And everybody has their pivotal moment where they wake up and realize they've been on a plantation. So roll this, which is incredible because if you know anything about Young Turks, they off the charts. And it's funny that Dr. Richie from the Young Turks haven't invited me back since Trump won. I don't know where they at. Jeremy, the guy Jeremy, I ain't gonna say his last name because I don't want y'all to expose him. He's not a public figure. But Jeremy, that's in my inbox the entire time Joe Biden was in office. Where you at now, Jeremy? You don't even respond. Did you block me, bro? Donald Trump won and you ain't got nothing to say. I told you he was gonna win. Anyway, roll the clip.
I can definitely be honest about my own flaws and my own mistakes because I bought the mainstream media narrative that there wasn't a migrant crisis.
Really?
And yeah, I did believe it. I believe because, look, I was an idiot because, I mean, who do you trust in today's media landscape?
I know.
Right? There's a lot of liars out there.
Yeah,
and when it comes to mainstream media, the fact of the matter is they do play defense more and more for the Democratic Party. And that's an issue because there was a time when that didn't happen. And so I still believed in their good faith reporting, even though it turns out, a lot of these reports would omit really important details about what's really going on. And so it wasn't until Texas Governor Greg Abbott started busing or sending migrants to blue cities where that woke me up. That woke a lot of people up. And suddenly America realizes, oh, there is a migrant crisis.
Why did that wake you up?
Well, because all of a sudden you're seeing migrants sleeping on the floor in the police department in Chicago because they don't have shelter for these people, right? You're seeing, these. I love watching streams of city council meetings because that's how you understand what's really going on in these cities, right? These are real people who live there and they get their opportunity to speak.
Chicago's been an amazing thing to watch.
Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch every city council meeting from Chicago because it's
crazy.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And for me, rather than relying on mainstream media reporting or anyone's reporting, to be quite honest with you, what I'll do is I'll go out of my way and I'll watch, the entirety of a government function, local government function. I talk to real people and I get a sense of where hearts and minds really are. And so on election night, I wasn't surprised at all. I knew what was coming. I totally knew what was coming. I knew that Cook County was going to swing, I think it's about 8 percentage points toward Republicans. I knew LA County, and this is what I was surprised about. I did not expect Donald Trump to flip 10 counties in California from blue to red. But I guess I shouldn't have been surprised about that either. Because when you look at the conditions that people are living in a Democrat-controlled state, well, yeah, you can understand why people are turning their backs on the Democratic Party. You can understand why people are frustrated at the corruption, at the loss of $24 billion that was allocated to help the homeless when homelessness only exploded during that time, and that money is now unaccounted for. It was funneled to nonprofits whose executives get paid minimum $200,000, $250,000 a year, and they have multiple executives who are making at least that or more. And you just see the waste, and you see the real grift. And so for people out there who are concerned about the grifters, take a good hard look at the systemic grifting that's happening right now. It's disgusting.
shout out to the Blaze. Shout out to Glenn Beck. She's still kind of like soft around the edges, but I do believe that she's waking up, and it's good to see, because Stevie Wonder can see it if you really want to see it, right? I keep saying Stevie Wonder. I know he's blind. Y'all get the reference. I woke up to this stuff too. I just when Barack Obama started bashing police officers, I said, wait a minute. I thought y'all were the party of the working class people, the men and women who are serving every single day in this country. We're not the wealthy. We're not the rich, and you guys are not on our side. We're at the bottom of the barrel. We getting paid $21 an hour to put our life on the line every day, and you guys are attacking us. But you say the Republicans are for the rich white people. Well, the Republicans are the ones saying that we shouldn't be treating our law enforcement officers like this. The conservatives are supportive of law enforcement and the rule of law. You guys are supporting criminals. Once I saw that, I said, man, ain't no way I can't do this no more, man. If anybody that's bashing cops, especially when you're the president of the United States of America, you say the Cambridge cops acted stupidly. And then it come to find out the cops didn't do nothing wrong when they released the body worn camera. Obama didn't even apologize or nothing, bro. It don't take you nothing to say, yeah, I was wrong. I judged it too soon. The cops did do what they're supposed to do. And nothing. They literally had the Department of Justice go to Michael Brown's funeral. And Michael Brown was a suspect, and he ended up getting shot justifiably. He sent the DOJ to the boy funeral and demonized the police officer. And then after DOJ investigation, the cop was cleared federally. Never came back and apologized and said anything. Forget these people, man. But I'm glad that she's waking up because her partner is a complete idiot. Do we have a Charlemagne clip? Yeah, so let me go to this real quick, and then we're gonna play another Young Turks clip, because this is Charlemagne the fraud, and then also this is Anna Kasparian on the Young Turks network. All right. So I want to get to this real quick. For those of you who are watching, this is something that means so much to me, and I want to give you an opportunity to join me in this. I literally just went to the women's prison this morning, and this is one of the reasons why I was late. It pushed my whole schedule back. I went to the Perryville Women's Prison here in Arizona and saw firsthand what Prison Fellowship is doing for women in prison. And it literally, I tried not to cry at least 5 times. And some of those women that was in that classroom going through the program of Prison Fellowship, they have children who are on the outside who work with Angel Tree to get a Christmas gift and different things. And I'll tell you this, you can rest assured that the women who are and the men who are a part of Prison Fellowship are good people that will not recidivate, and they have been working hard to find Christ. I mean, I was inspired by these women and the love for Christ and all of the things that they've learned. And they were only 5 weeks in the course. 5 months in the course. The course is a year long. So anyway, the fundraiser is to help those people who are incarcerated for whatever reason, help them connect with their children and get them a Christmas gift, a personalized letter from the parent that's incarcerated, and a Bible. And I'm telling you this as sure as I'm sitting here on this thing, and I want to tear up saying it. You have no idea what connection that you're bringing that can affect the lives of the people who are incarcerated and their children. One thing that children get is their identity, and how they view their parent and how much their parent loved them is how their trajectory turns out. And to get a message, and I'm seeing this firsthand, y'all. Today, I saw one half of it. To get a letter from mama in prison, grandmama in prison, who you thought didn't care about you, or maybe didn't have the resources, wasn't thinking about you in Christmas when everybody else is getting presents and everybody else is getting love. And you feel some type of way. But when you get a message from your mama, and you had nothing to do with your mama being in jail, you get a message, you feel loved, you feel appreciated, and you get a Christmas gift. And women were crying in there, thinking about what we are able to do to help them connect with their children in a way like never before, and help them spread the love that they have for their babies, for us to share it. I said all that to say $30 will help you get one kid. We already at 2,300 kids. Our goal is 4,000. I think by the end of this show, we probably get another 500 kids. $30 for one kid. You can do 150 for 5, 600 will help 20 kids, $3,000 if you want to give will help 100 kids. I've made the commitment to say that I did a price match with one of my good friends. He gave $5,000, I gave $5,000 to help in this. And also whoever matches that with $5,000, we're going to give you a trip out here to Arizona. We'll be able to go to dinner, hang out with me. So if you give $5,000, you can do the $5,000 match. We're going to do something special. But also for anybody else, we're going to find something else to do for people who have given, even if we have to do like a random selection of anybody who give. I want to do something special for you too, because you may not have $5,000, but you got a $5,000 heart. All right. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. Go and support today. We're going to put the link here. I've been waiting all day to tell y'all this. I'm not going to lie. I've been waiting all day. After going to that prison, it's just so special to me. And I want to tell y'all this real quick, and I'm going to go on to this news thing. We signed up. The reason why I'm telling you this, because I don't want y'all to think that I'm just telling you to do this. I gave $5,000. One of my good friends gave $5,000. So I got skin in the game. I'm not just telling you. We signed up to be, so next year you guys can come here to my headquarters and help us wrap the presents. And we're going to throw a party for the kids that come get presents from Officer Tatum. And we're going to throw a big party. And that's what they do. They throw a party for the kids. They get to go and get the presents. And volunteers like you and I will wrap the presents. We applied to be a certified facility to facilitate that. So we're too late this year, but next year we're going to have y'all come down and volunteer. We're going to wrap these presents. We're going to go purchase the presents. We're going to throw a party here, and we're going to have it just for the kids so they can come open their presents and have a good Christmas. And y'all are going to be a part of that. I cannot wait to show y'all how many kids we're going to eventually help. All right, let's get back to the news story. Let's go to Charlemagne real quick, and Anna. And this is that dummy that I was telling you about over here in the corner. Look at him. He looked like he need just one night. He need one night with a wife. That's what he looked like. It's all that anger built up. He ain't been doing nothing. That's what he looked like. You got to let that energy out, my man, with your wife, but let the energy out. Anyway, I want y'all to hear the conversation between the three of them, because she should be a Republican. He should be a Republican. I don't know what he's doing over there. Roll the clip.
I think some of the best moments on the Breakfast Club in this election process was when young black men would call in to explain why it was that they had turned on the Democratic Party. And I find their perspective incredibly important and very interesting. And I feel that they were just kind of left behind by the Democratic Party. And, you know, one of the things that would come up over and over again was the immigration issue. And I'm not under the impression at all that these are anti-immigrant individuals, but people living in places like Chicago, for instance, who have seen their resources, which are usually used to nickel and dime the local black community there, essentially be used for the influx of migrants who came in. Federal government, run by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, just kind of neglected the issue and allowed these municipalities to struggle with the issue on their own. And the thing that frustrates me, Charlemagne, is that if you are someone who identifies as on the left, regardless of where you fall on that left-wing spectrum, if you have the audacity to bring up this very real issue, well, I mean, you know how Sonny Hostin will treat you if you bring it up on The View, right? And I think that's an issue. I think it's a problem. The Democrats seem to not ever want to do a little bit of self-reflection to understand, okay, what can we do better the next time around? Instead, I see them kind of lashing out and blaming everyone else for the loss. What do you think?
I agree. I was a victim of it. I mean, they lost that battle a couple of years ago. I remember a couple of years ago when Governor Greg Abbott and Governor Ron DeSantis were putting, you know, the migrants on buses and planes and sending them to so-called sanctuary cities. And then, you know, as soon as they got there, those so-called sanctuary cities, they weren't so sanctimonious, were they? They were literally saying, hey, no, send them back. You can't come. And I said back then, I thought that was evil genius. Yes, it was inhumane and cruel to do that, but on the flip side, you did say you were sanctuary cities, and you did say you wanted these people until you got them. And so then when they realized it was an issue and they were saying don't come, it made the Republicans look like they had it right the whole time. I remember earlier this year, January, I was doing exactly what you just did, Anna. I was talking to my activist friends in Chicago, like my homie Zoe, and she was going to city council meetings every week, complaining about what was happening. And it wasn't even just about the fact that, you know, the migrants were coming over. That she was just complaining that they're getting more resources than we are. I had a guy, he works in a parking garage in New York. He saw me one day and he came to me in tears, talking to me about how, you know, there were gangs that were coming over, you know, tearing up his neighborhood. And he was saying he knows it's because the border needs to be closed. This is a black woman I'm talking about and a Spanish man. These people were not MAGA in any way, shape, or form. They were just talking to people about what was going on in their communities. In New York City, Mayor Adams let a bunch of migrants stay in a school overnight and made the kids that went to the school do homeschooling that day because he needed to give the migrants housing for the night. People were calling into the radio station complaining about that. So when I get on the air and I say that, or if I'm in an interview with, I think at the time I was doing an interview with Fox News, and they asked me a simple question: do I think the border is going to play an issue come November? I told them everything I just told y'all. Next thing I know, MSNBC has a headline that says Charlemagne the God is spreading MAGA messaging. That is not MAGA messaging, and that is Democrats dismissing what their base was actually telling them because they already had labeled the issue of the border a Republican MAGA issue, and it wasn't. It was an American issue, and it was people in their party, people in their base, or used to be in their base, complaining about it, and they didn't listen.
But he still voted for Kamala Harris. I mean, I want to acknowledge what he's saying, but these people are still voting for Democrats. They just want the Democrats, like they want the abuser to love them one day. These people are not going to love you. They don't care nothing about you. They want power. That's why they don't care nothing about. They literally said all of this stuff about the border is not a big deal. It's Kamala Harris, the border czar. She didn't even go to the border. They pressed on it. She go, I didn't go to Europe. Going to Europe and going to the border is different things, clearly. But what I will say is I'm glad that some people are acknowledging this publicly, because before people wouldn't even acknowledge this publicly. They didn't want to bring it up. We get it. I know that it's hard. You know, I know that it's difficult to overcome this objection when all of your friends are liberals, because you get alienated and people are so crazy about it, man. They'll try to kick you out of the family, you know. But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth, and you shall always tell the truth, and it'll set you free. So shout out to everybody that's giving the super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chats. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. We're going to try to continue to do this show. I know that the start times have been sporadic, but we're going to get a hold of it at some point, and we're going to continue to bring this live show. I mean, it's going to get better and better. One thing that I always promise myself is that I cannot wait for perfection to start something, right? And I think that it's good. People enjoy it. We still got a long way to go, but I'd rather us start now and do something than to wait a year and a half until we got it all perfect. So thank you guys for that. Let's see what Bible version gets sent to the children. I'm not sure. I can definitely ask them what Bible version gets sent to the children at the Prison Fellowship Academy. I'm going to read some of these super chats if I can, if your super chat is still available. Let me see. Say what you will, their editors are doing awesome. All of these brain dead people, yet I don't see any of the machines they're hooked up to. I don't know. Darius, thanks so much for the super chat. Okay, that's the only ones that I see here. Let me see. In the children one. But anyway, I'll try to find that out for you guys and see what Bible they're sending. You know, hopefully it's the ESV. But, I mean, they're children. So unless you're a theologist, I think that any Bible you send a kid, they can at least get started. You know what I'm saying? You would hope that they wouldn't send the King James because that's kind of difficult to read. However, any Bible you send a kid will be just fine. When you start getting into theology and you start being a little more mature in Christ, then it starts to matter what Bible you read. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'm getting ready to go on Laura Ingram's show, hopefully. But I'm getting ready to go on Laura Ingram's show. So if you guys are watching Fox News here in the next 20 minutes, I think I'm supposed to go on at the top of the hour. I should be on Laura Ingram so you guys can watch me there. But anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I want to give one more shout out to Prison Fellowship. The donation link is in the comment section and the description section. Please, it's 5,000 people watching this. If 5,000 people gave $1, that'd be $5,000. If 5,000 people gave $5, you do the math. What's that, $25,000 of donation? And $25,000 divided by what, 30? What would that be? Try to do the math real quick. That's how many kids you'll help. So if 5,000 people gave $5, that'd be $25,000. So go 25,000 divided by 30. That'd be 833 kids you can help. If everybody on here gave $5. That can be very simple to do, and I believe in you. And thank you all for the ones who gave already. And I like to say this because I think it's very important. Give as God has blessed you and purposed in your heart. If you feel like there's a grudge or you feel that you feel obligated and it's pushed you to give, do not give. It's not your time. There's other opportunities to give in other places. But if God has put it on your heart that this time you need to give because God has blessed you, and remember you promised that, God, if you do this for me, I'm going to bless other people. When you finally give me that job, when you finally give me that promotion, I promise you, God, I'm going to start doing for other people. Well, here's your opportunity to do for somebody else, and especially these kids, they need you. So God bless you guys. We'll see you on the next one. I'm out of here.
Oh, the land of the free.